Hi, and welcome to I Would Make a Hideous Woman. Trust me, I know.
In 5D.
No, wait, hold on.
I
Are we
know
gonna get
too.
to see that at some point?
You know what? Halloween's coming up, and we'll see.
Well,
We'll see.
I mean,
I know what Steven is
crossplay
talking
for-
about, and I am very sad to announce it's too late to get it together.
You guys procrastinated that long?
It wasn't even about procrastination. Both of us really kind of didn't want to do it if there was only going to be two of us.
Oh, I see.
It's
What about PAX? Do we want to do it for PAX?
we might be able to do it for PAX, actually. I'd be in for doing it for PAX.
I'm still trying to see if someone's willing to sell me badges for other days, even though I know it's going to be super expensive.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, so what we're talking about for all of you guys that don't know is that they were planning, along with myself, if I could have gotten into San Diego Comic-Con, to do a crossplay where we were all Disney princesses. Me, of course, being the redhead, even though it probably doesn't show up on the stream, but I am a redhead.
He is.
He definitely has no soul.
Yeah, I was going to be Ariel. We had, what was it? You were going to be Jasmine, and he was going to be
Yes.
I was going to be Snow White.
Snow White. That's right.
I got the brown one because I'm the brown one.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
It just
Yeah,
made
that
sense,
makes
damn it.
Yeah, apparently.
It's that or Pocahontas, bitch.
No, thank you.
For those of you who are new to the podcast, in case you didn't know, I'm Stephen Figbert Thomas. With me is Devin Bonsai Barker.
One second, you always forget the number part. It's a part of the name. It is branded with the name. I never don't do the 161. It's
You
never.
always have the 161?
Yes.
Always 100% of the time? Okay,
Yes.
sorry. With me is Devin Bonsai 161 Barker.
Thank you.
There you go. And as well as Eduardo Archangel of Light Rivera. You don't have any fucking numbers, right?
Nope.
Okay.
No, but he does spell everything
A
wrong.
while ago.
So how are you guys doing this week?
Not too bad. There's a lot going on.
There is a lot going on, but
There's
I guess
some
it's
stuff
not
going on.
surprising with like E3 and shit like that. But still, lots going
Yeah.
on.
So, how's it going with you, Devin, before we jump right into it?
I'm alive.
Yeah!
You're always
That's
so,
my answer.
always so cheery there, big guy.
He's the most curious of all the cheeriest.
I do have a fun little story. I managed to make a guy driving a Porsche very angry on the way home today by not doing anything.
Oh,
So-
great. He's just a pretentious douchebag?
There's this really, curvy turn I have to take to get onto the freeway coming home from work. And it has a suggested speed of 35. If it's black and yellow, it's suggested. If it's black and white, it's an actual speed. But I always hit that a little bit faster. It's dry out. We're in the middle of a fucking drought. There's nothing on the road. It's not a big deal. I just hit it a little bit quicker. And he was apparently upset that the Honda Civic was taking the turn quicker than he was. So he started to speed up, except there was a truck in front of him. So then he had to, swerve in front of me and get into the dirt a little bit and straighten out. And he tried to, take off after that to look like a badass. But he stayed in the right lane, and the right lane actually has two more lanes that merge in on top of it right there. And I know that because I drive it every day, so I get on and merge over one, and he immediately gets stuck in the traffic, and I just kind of casually pulled up next to him, and he just managed to look every single direction except the one that I was in. It was kind of great.
He knew it. I love how he knew it so hard that he was just like, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta fuck with my mirror. Okay. Oh, dude, I should check my dashboard in case I got anything over here. And
Oh my god. Oh, look at all this dashboard list. Why have I never seen this before?
I know, right? It's like, oh, dude, and he's just fumbling through his registration he's never looked at in his life. Anything to not look to the left where you are. I'm assuming
Alright.
you're on the left, right?
Yes.
So while we're telling stories, I have an interesting one, too.
All right.
So this
Story
weekend-
time!
Yeah, story time with 5D. So we decided to go drinking this weekend, and
Uh-oh.
As Eduardo decided to just lose his camera.
I did not. Skype decided to hate me there for a second.
There we go.
Welcome back.
All right.
You can see our beautiful face again.
Thank
Oh.
you.
It's
See,
beautiful. Very
see, even my
beautiful.
computer's drunk still. So we
Fucking-
decided to booze a little this weekend, and it was a pretty large group of us, and we started our drinking at about 5 p.m. And we were doing really well until at about 12:45. We're like, "Hey, where's so and so?" Oh, the last time I saw him, he was talking to some girls out back. Oh, okay. So nothing. We go and we continue with the night, close down the bar like we usually do, and at the end of the night, when we're all drunk and trying to take roll call, see if everyone's here, right? And oh, where's so and so? Oh no, he's peeing on the building over there. Oh, where's that guy? Oh, he's right there talking to the girl. We're like, where's? And then the same guy that we had been looking for the whole night does not appear. We're calling him. we're texting him, and we're like, well, I guess he went home. So we all got in an Uber and took off. In the morning, we get a call, or more likely a text, and it's like, what happened to me last night? And
I like that it's not what happened last night. It's what happened to me last night. So, that makes it slightly more horrifying.
So, yeah, what happened to me last night? I wasn't the one who got the initial call or text. But we're like, what's going on? I don't know what happened to you. And he's like, I ended up in the hospital. And everybody's like, what? Yeah, so...
What did you do?
I did nothing, but we all ended up going to his house, picked up some Ikes on the way, and we show up and, like, his head is, like, half a size larger. He's got a black eye, a cut, and he's banged up on his knee, and he has no idea how it happened. Or, at least he's pretending he doesn't know how it happened. But...
He got beat up trying to blow a dude.
So we're sitting there, and we're like, you know what? Okay, well, we're asking him questions. He goes, I don't remember. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I call, because, the area we went to, we've been there for forever, barflies, so we know a few of the people.
Yeah, we know most of the bouncers on this street.
Yeah. Well, I actually called the owner of the bar that we were hanging out at and going, hey, can you check out some of the security? And he, he's an old friend, so he's like, oh, yeah, we'll check it out. It's like, look, we didn't see anything on security, but my bar manager said that night, the ambulance came out, the police came out, EMS came out to this other bar. So, of course, I hit up my contacts at that bar, and they're like, oh, no, that didn't happen here. It happened in the parking lot next door. Some guy got the shit kicked out of him.
Oh, fuck.
And the thing is, we're like, that makes sense. Because at first he was like, I think I got hit by a car. I'm like, it looks like you kind of fell. Now I see he fell on a doorknob or three.
Right.
I like any story where you have to explain to a friend, hey, bro, you got beat up. That's what happened to you.
No, but that was the greatest part. Like, he didn't want to admit. He's like, I just don't want to know. And then he busts out this little pink card, which is a card you get if you're ever a victim that the police gives you to go look up the police report. So
what?
I was like, yes, you now get the ass kicking of the year t-shirt. Congratulations.
Ass kicking of the year.
Hey, but yeah, that was my weekend. It was pretty fun.
Well done.
My weekend was nothing, and it was great.
Well, this weekend, apparently, we have to send somebody to the hospital or we don't top Eduardo.
I know.
Yeah. Actually, it seems like a classic weekend. I had friends coming in from Germany. Eventful shit happened. It's like our Vegas trips, man.
We need to do another one of.
You mean I could just sit there and, like, lay on the ground looking like a fucking dead hobo with, like, splotches all over my face and scare you guys to death?
Yes, Mr. Splotchyson.
Splotchy McSplotchyson? I think you failed that pretty hardcore. But moving along,
it's because I had
why don't we go ahead and talk about some fucking game news, guys? Because
game news!
And I think the most notable thing that I think really should be talked about here is that Steam is finally doing a refund policy, right?
Yeah.
And if I understand it correctly, it's basically any time within 14 days of buying a game and no more than 2 hours, they'll do it for any reason, right? And to me...
Speedrunners!
Right, well, so there's some things that, that's gonna suck for in a lot of ways, but I mean, what's most noteworthy about this for me, or at least in my opinion, like, if you look at it, at first you're like, that's fucking awesome. As a consumer, I've wanted the ability to say, okay, this game was not working for me, or this game is buggy, so fuck that. For AAA studio games that have been just really bad this last, couple of years, that sounds great. I'd love to have that, right? But that doesn't take into consideration games like, for example, ones that are under 2 hours. Like or DRM-free games. There's these games that exist on Steam. Like, if you're a game that has no, DRM, right? You can just copy those files that are in the Steam folder to somewhere else on your computer. And suddenly you have the game and you own the game. So that's a free game. Oh, your game's only 2 hours long or a little bit you can beat it in under 2 hours? Okay, that person paid for the game and now they beat it, kind of thing. So there's like this weird thing where it's worrisome for these independent developers, and I'm really curious how lenient or strict they plan on making this return policy.
Well, so to be fair, one of the things you brought up, yeah, that's flat out one of the reasons I would return a game. A game that's, depending on the price point, a game that I can beat in under 2 hours, if I had to pay like $50-$60 for that? Like a normal AAA game? Like, I'm just like, you don't get like a 2-hour AAA game or anything? What does a 2-hour game cost you? $2-$3?
I mean, yeah,
like,
generally a game that's going to be short like that will be around $10-$15 at most. And that's,
I'd still kind of feel jilted too. Like, I don't really play anything for 2 hours, and honestly, if I did that, I'd return the game for that reason.
I think that there are a few games that are really good in short bursts like that. A good example of this is more recently I played a game called A Bird Story, and it was only like a good hour and a half game, and it wasn't anything spectacular, and I think I got it for a couple of bucks. It wasn't a big deal, but it was worth the time. I really enjoyed what it had and what it offered, and it was a fun game. I mean, if I wanted to at that point, I could say, well, done, and I can get it back. I mean, there's games that do have shorter periods. They're in the independent scene for specifically narrative-driven stuff, so it may not be your style of game, but there are a lot of games like that I think are even worth $10 in a 2-hour game block range.
But you're not going to return it. And this is just like your argument for piracy. The people who are going to do fucked up shit are going to find a way to do fucked up shit no matter what. Why bar this... But also, why bar this service from people who have felt jilted? Like, if we could have fucking returned Evolve, are you telling me we would not have returned Evolve in a goddamn heartbeat?
I'm totally happy with this.
I just let's not even go with Evolve. Because look, Evolve, you may not have liked it, but as far as I understand, it wasn't buggy as shit. It delivered on what it promised. But it was
we're not talking about that. Like, just for whatever reason, me and Steve didn't enjoy it.
Right.
And we wanted to return it because we didn't feel we got our money's worth. For whatever reason we did that, it was just a feeling me and him shared, and we would have loved to have gotten our money back because we didn't like it. So why bar this service because there's a few assholes who are going to abuse it?
Right. I mean, I'm not saying that they should or like throw this service out the window. I'm curious about how it's going to work for these other games that I feel like the policy as is doesn't appeal at all.
Well, it might be a price point thing, like games under $10. Sorry, they were under $10. It's like a clearance sale.
Yeah, so what...
Yeah, how do you feel about this, Eddie?
I feel like this is going to work a lot more for the Greenlight games, where you're like, oh yeah, this game looks great, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, so they used everything from the source the source engine, and nothing else. That's it. It's all pre-rendered stuff that comes with the packages. Sorry, not source.
Cut the balls.
Unity.
There you go.
Source engine, same thing.
But yeah, but you know what I mean? Like all these all they did was put new skins on build your block kind of games, So I think it'll be good for those, and yes, there's gonna be a couple of people who are gonna take advantage of it. And yes, it'll suck. And hopefully Steam will put in some sort of safeguards in the sense where like if you return more than 2 or 3 games a month, a red flag goes up, or
from what I understand,
like that.
A little bit after the original report or the original talking about this came up, there was I don't remember exactly how long after. I think it was a couple of days, but because of the things that these independent games were bringing up, or these developers were bringing up, it sounds like they were thinking, well, maybe we'll have to do a little bit more Q&A on this and like really make sure that if something happens like that, we have the ability to, say, no, we're not going to refund this. But, I mean, the biggest reason why these developers are still worried is that Steam has a really bad track record with this kind of service. Let's just be fair here. Customer service and Steam don't really go along together.
But they've been building this new customer service team. We have to imagine that they've probably thought of exactly what you're talking about. I can't imagine this is something they've completely overlooked.
Well, they may have it first, and that's why they're coming back to it. But I'm not saying it's a bad thing. As a customer, this is like a fucking holy grail of something that I've been wanting for a while. Yeah. The fact that you could never return digital property really sucked. Because again, Evolve is a great example of this. After a couple plays of that game, I realized that I was not going to enjoy it as much as I could have.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this is Steam again just jumping the gun on their announcements, like on the paid mods thing?
I think what's interesting about this is I did read another piece that was talking a little bit how this might be in conjunction with that idea, is that this is one of the biggest complaints that people were having about the paid mods. So maybe this is what they're putting into the system to kind of make that feel a little bit more doable.
Okay.
So maybe backtracking and putting out underlying stuff. I also kind of feel like maybe not that they jumped the gun here because the return policy should be there, but I think that the way they worded it was really bad. Like, you can return anything into 14 days of owning the game if you've played less than 2 hours without question, kind of thing.
Was there any sort of small print? Because I imagine
I didn't read the exact agreement yet, to be honest, and I don't want to like make it sound like I have, but I read some quotes out of it, which made it sound like it was literally if you've played the game less than 2 hours, 14 days, we don't care.
So, and it could be kind of a thing of context here as well.
Yeah, it could be, and that's why I wanted to preface that with I haven't read the actual term of agreements.
Yeah.
So
I think a solid return policy is awesome. It's actually one of the reasons Costco is so good. Their return policy is fantastic. Have some people abused that over the years? Yes. I personally know some people who every so often they're like, oh, I'm just going to return this TV because I just want the new model because, they don't sell that anymore.
Right.
That happens. And then, the store, I imagine, takes a little bit of a hit. But for everyone else, it's just good customer service.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm excited, and I really wanted to bring that one up first, because it's a huge thing. It's a huge step. And it also comes more in line, I think, with European policy when it comes to digital goods, because they actually have a better situation than the Americas do, for example, as far as I understand.
To be fair, most of their digital and internet kind of laws tend to be a lot better there. I'm guessing it's because there's a lot less lobbying going on than there is in the U.S., but
Maybe.
I don't want to get on a soapbox right
I mean,
now.
at the end of the day, I'm just saying, like, it comes more in line with something that the Europeans have been working on for a while, which is pretty cool, because, again, it's really shitty if you buy a game and it's just broken. Like, if I bought, Assassin's Creed Unity, which, of course, that would never happen, but in a world that it did, and I put that game in and I saw some of the bugs that I did within the first couple hours of play, I guarantee you I'd return it and wouldn't have any qualms about it. Not even a little bit, because at that point it's like, you did not finish your fucking game. I don't want your game.
I mean, and that's great, but sadly, Unity is now not a Steam game.
Well, that's true too.
Kind of
Good
beside the
point.
point.
But my point being, like, buying a game and having it broken and being able to say, you know what, developer, fuck you, make your game finish and I'll pay for it, is a really cool thing. And it means I can try these games that I've been really, really just like, I don't want to touch this because, of reasons.
Yeah.
Like, for example, assuming that the Division. Yeah, assuming the Division is on Steam, this means I might do first day release buy. Why not?
Yeah.
It's Ubisoft, so I don't know. Are they still on Steam nowadays?
Mighty Quest for Epic Loot I got through Steam.
Well, so the thing is that they've been kind of pushing towards pulling away from Steam, it seems like, but they have been on Steam in the past, so
yeah,
not sure. But this actually does bring up another thing that's really interesting to me, first day sales and all. So the Batman Arkham Knight, I think it is, that's the new title, right?
Yeah.
It's doing another one of those things a lot like every other AAA game has done with retail exclusives and really splitting up things, and like, I as far as I understand, this is one of the like worst ones out there for the terms of just like, you're not gonna, if you buy it first day, you're not gonna get everything.
Worse than like Watch Dogs, because that one was pretty bad.
No, the Batman franchise in general has always done this from like the first couple of games. They were doing like, buy on this platform or buy from this store and get these exclusive things.
To be fair though, it's not just the Batman. Anything WD does, WB Games, sorry, is a lot like that, because they did the same thing with Shadow of Mordor and a couple of other titles. The only difference is we don't really call them out as much because we're always like, fuck you, EA, but WB is also known for doing some shady shit like this.
Well, and I mean, in general, this has been a trend for games that have just been happening in this.
But honestly, it doesn't bother me because I'm not going to beat the fucking game the first day, and it's always like after game kind of content. Well, it usually is after game kind of content. I just wait a little bit, and it all comes out on all the platforms eventually. You know what I mean?
Like,
I mean, you're going to play it.
Well, when they do like the Game of the Year editions and stuff.
Yeah, well, for Batman, they usually do Game of the Year. Just a few months later, it comes out as a DLC that you can buy, just like anything else. Like it comes out eventually. And to be honest, most of the DLC they do on the Batman games, personally, I gives a fuck about. I'm just saying, like, a lot of times it's just for, like, the timed maps, which I'm not as big into, so it doesn't bother me. Although this time, apparently, there is a Red Hood campaign, which, I'll
is it an actual campaign, or is it just the costume again?
No, it's just like the Harlequin's Revenge DLC. It's going to be a couple of chapters, I bet. But they did say story.
The point is that, to me it seems really kind of sad that the retailers specifically are really kind of pulling a lot of strings in the sense that they want to have this thing here, an exclusive thing here, so they get to buy here, kind of thing. That I wish we could just have a uniform. If you pre-order, this is what you get. If you don't, this is what you get.
It's only going to get worse.
I know it's only going to get worse, but I'm really hoping it hits that point where it breaks because people get tired.
Well, actually, something that I was going to bring up too, and it goes along with this. Did you guys hear that GameStop just bought GeekNet?
Yeah.
So this pre-order thing, especially with them, because they are some of the worst, it's only going to get worse because now they're going to add swag to it. And yeah, it's...
My point is that I'm really hoping that this is a sign that it's hitting that breaking point where this shit stops, because I really don't like that. Not because I want to have all the content or whatever. I just really hate this idea of fracturing your audience.
So,
as a gamer, I don't want my fellow players of this game to have the fracture of oh, did you check out this thing that's over here? No, where's that at? Just because I didn't buy that DLC or get that version of it, now I didn't see that piece of story content. If it's you get a special little different looking bow or something, okay, that's fine. Nobody's gonna whatever. But when it's content related to story stuff, that's where I start to see really big problems, and I don't see why they wouldn't push that kind of thing.
No, I'm fully in agreement. I think that if it's visual stuff, or if it's you get a different weapon,
you get a silly hat.
Yeah, or like I said, even a weapon for the not the multiplayer, for the single player kind of stuff. Okay, cool. But when it's full missions and campaigns.
Well, but that's why with this one it's sucks. The Red Hood stuff. This isn't main campaign thing. It doesn't matter. But
that's not the point. The point is that content is something you don't get to see, and that just kind of sucks.
But that's it's the developers kicking themselves in the foot. No, it definitely sucks. Sadly, if the developer or the publisher wants to be a dick about it...
Right, I mean, there's nothing that we can do from this sort of thing other than just say, no, I'm not going to pay for your shit first day or whatever. But, I'm just saying that this has been a continuing thing, and we brought it up before, and this is another one of those games that's doing it, and it's just can we be done with it? Because I personally would love to not have this be a thing anymore. I would love to say, I bought this game, so all the other people that bought this game, we all know what we got to see, and let's talk about these cool things we got to see.
It'd be really great, but I think you need to buckle up, because I agree with Eduardo. I think it's only going to get worse.
I agree. I think it's going to get worse, too. I just... part of me just wants to say, hey, am I the only one that feels this way?
No, I agree, but I think there's other things that need to be fixed first. Day 1 DLC, I think, is a much bigger problem, right, than these kind of pre-order stuff, because...
Well, it's all problems, really, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I honestly think that, like I said, Day 1 DLC is a bigger issue, because this is stuff that it's already been kind of, you already developed it, and you're already selling it to us, versus pre-order basically doesn't cost you anything, so...
Yeah.
I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah.
Bring up your face.
Fine.
Next.
Speaking of a face... You can build one in this brand new game that should have happened forever ago.
Segway!
Boom!
No, but seriously, Lego has finally released a game. It's in early access right now, but they finally released a game that works like the Minecraft games do. And I'm just thinking to myself, it's about fucking time.
Yeah.
And this should have come 4 years ago.
It seems like a no-brainer.
Right? It's like Legos, Minecraft blocks. They kind of look a lot alike, don't they?
I'm surprised Lego didn't sue nobody.
Well, I'm not surprised. That stuff is, you couldn't win that lawsuit.
They make a Lego Minecraft set now, actually.
Yeah, they do.
Right. But my point is that, wow, this took forever. Wow. I haven't checked it out, looked at any video from it or whatever, but if it's anything like what it should be, that's fucking cool. I would love to build my, especially if you can do, it's not like a survival thing, but instead you can just have a space that's three-dimensional and you can put shit together and have a digital version of Legos.
So let me play devil's advocate
here,
though. So before we get too far, how long is it before we're gonna have Halo Minecraft or everything else Minecraft? And
that's gonna happen because Microsoft owns Minecraft, so duh.
I don't know what you mean.
So yeah, we have Lego Minecraft
because that shit
style.
already exists anyways.
Sort of. There are a couple games that are like Halo-esque.
Oh, separate games. Oh,
yes.
I mean, that shit's already been kind of happening. There's a lot of games that have been taking from the Minecraft sort of style. Like, for example, Reign of Kings is like Minecraft with medieval theme.
Yeah, but I mean, it's novel now. I just feel like it's gonna get real old really quick.
But that's the hot button right now is survival games, dude. People are all about it.
To me, this is just, it's a no-brainer because Lego and Minecraft, like, have always been so similar.
Yeah.
It's just like, this isn't one of those times where it's like, oh, we're just making another Minecraft-like game. No, these guys are like, Lego.
Except for zombies.
Digital version.
I don't know if Legos did zombies.
Digital version. Yeah, we'll do a digital version of Legos. That's the way I see this. Like, it's not... It's the one that I feel like can be the most like Minecraft.
It's like making the Monopoly game multiplayer.
Who would have thunk?
Actually, I don't know if it is multiplayer, but I mean,
I don't know if the original was technically.
I'm talking about the computer game. Yeah, I don't know if it was.
Well, the computer game was.
The
I just
computer
don't know about,
Monopoly game.
Computerized version of Monopoly. Yeah, it was a hot seat multiplayer. It wasn't online multiplayer, but.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's a hot.
I don't know about the original like NES version of Monopoly. I don't remember that one. I think it was, but I could be wrong. Anyways, I feel like I think it's called Lego Worlds, if I remember correctly.
Lego Worlds.
Yeah, Lego Worlds or Lego Universe, something like that.
Lego Universe.
It's to me something that existed forever ago.
Dawn of Justice.
Failure.
Oh, fuck that up.
Jog of Mustis.
Dog of Mustis? I like it.
Dog of Mustache.
Dogs with mustaches? Or no, dogs with mustache.
That would be adorable.
Batman vs Superman. Dogs with mustache. In theaters June.
I think that would be fantastic. I really do. I'm down.
I'm over. We're all just.
I'm all over it in theaters this June.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God, we're losing the audience.
Yeah, we probably just shoved them all away.
All right.
And then a couple of quick release note things that are kind of cool. Well, I should say release and cancels.
There's another big game announcement just because you don't like it.
Well, but I'm going to just jump through my shit so you guys can...
Okay.
So other couple of news. Here's the Storm officially has been released, I think, 2 days ago? Yesterday?
Yeah,
the first,
something like that.
Yes.
The first. I don't pay attention to the date, but Here's the Storm was officially released. They're doing a huge event, which is pretty cool. I'm curious to see if it can bolster its numbers on us in an actual release. And that should be pretty cool. But also in that news, Infinite Crisis, the DC one, is.
I liked this one
in August. We've talked about it a couple of times, but it's going to be gone in a couple months.
Yeah.
I thought it was very meh.
I liked it.
To me, it was just another game with nothing that made it special.
What made it special was DC.
Yeah, I could just mod in some DC models to any of the other ones and be like, hey, I'm playing that character.
I mean, speaking along those lines, though, what, other than it being DC, was it different than anything? What made it stand out?
Legitimately, the game doesn't stand out at all, in my opinion. Like, it's just another thing. I think there was one thing that was different. Wasn't it the you can, instead of it being denies, it was you can smash their gold if they don't kill the unit or something like that, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
It's a cool mechanic, but it's like one little tiny piece of the whole game. Like otherwise,
so how about all the people?
I still thought it was easier to pick up and play than Dota was.
Well, yeah, but that's because Dota is like, when it comes to skill ranking, the top one.
I'm just saying, like, what was nice about it for me is it seemed like that, but not, I didn't join my first game and have somebody go, "You suck because you're new and I hate you."
Well, also, but to be fair, though, you have a lot of experience with that kind of game now through Heroes. Like, you have the basics understood from the beginning at that point. Like, you're not coming into it completely new at that point.
I suppose.
I mean, and if you thought that game was relatively easy to get into, I bet you could easily pick up League of Legends and not have an issue at that point, too. But see, you do that. See, the only reason why you're, like, okay with this game is it's DC. It's like literally it.
Actually,
yes.
I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Yes.
If this was anything else, he'd still be like, eh.
No, I played Heroes, and I loosely enjoyed Smite.
Yeah, Smite was okay. But we did have those people going,
speaking of Smite,
this game just came out and you suck.
Yeah, Smite came out for console.
Did it officially come out, or is it coming out? I don't remember.
Now that you questioned it, I'm not sure anymore.
Last week we were talking, it was coming out, but I don't know if it's come out since then.
Yeah, I think it's still just coming out then.
Okay, fair enough.
All right,
so yeah, that's the run through of my random little things. I just wanted to bring those up because I could, and
So there was another big game reveal Today?
Rock Band 4.
No.
Well, technically it was today, though I think it leaked out a bit yesterday.
Go on. No,
Okay.
what they had was a
countdown timer.
upcoming news.
Yeah.
Yes, but I mean that something leaked earlier than the actual press release.
You should get that checked out, bro.
Yeah, it shouldn't be leaking.
Oh shit. I think I need a fuck.
All right, what's the big game? Let us know.
So Fallout 4, yay! Except unless you're Steven, then boo.
I'm sorry. Bethesda just took a knife, right?
Well, here, so
Stabbed me
this
in
is what is kind of fun about Fallout 4 is you have somebody who. I'm not like Fallout, but Fallout. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play the shit out of it. We have Steve who fucking hates it, and we have Eduardo who kind of just doesn't give a shit about it.
I mean,
played,
for me,
never
Yeah.
played any of them.
Like,
it's not that I
so,
hate
but
the game.
what's nice is
It's
that we
about
have
time
all
with
3
Bethesda.
degrees of this. So yes, let us discuss this,
Yeah,
Steven.
there should be all over the place here. I mean, I'm just tired of Bethesda's like literally copy paste. This is my game, but here's my game with a slightly different skin.
I will agree that does bother me, and
Like,
from the look of it, this does not look like it's on any new engine or system or anything.
Right. Let me run down the reason why Fallout was not a game that I was super inspired about. Like really easily. It's real quick. I am a huge fan of the original couple of games. Fallout 1 and 2 are probably the best RPGs that exist in the PC world, and probably console world for that matter. Especially 2. 2 is just my favorite RPG that has existed. Period. Like, on all of them. The only thing that comes close, in my opinion, is pen and paper, which, by the way, we'll be doing tomorrow. So you
Yeah!
Shameless plug.
I know, right?
Damn right.
I've always
All
been the
about
guy
it.
in the corner, after all, so I got to do what I can.
Dance monkey. Yeah.
So Fallout 2 is like my favorite game of all of the RPGs that exist. Nothing has come close, in my opinion. And so when Bethesda picked this up, I was like, oh, sweet. They might have a new game that comes out. But what came out of it, I felt, was severely lacking in a lot of ways. And it wasn't just the change of the mechanics or anything like that. It was just like, it didn't feel at all like a Fallout game to me. Like, so many things changed. There was some of the, like, the setting and some of the things that, like, okay, I can get behind this. But then on top of all of that, it was just Oblivion with guns. And I had just gotten off of playing a shit ton of Oblivion. So I was like, okay.
See, maybe I like it more because I've never played Oblivion. So
I honestly think probably. Because
You did
honestly,
play
it's-
Oblivion, but you hated it.
Well, yeah.
Well, my point is that you
never
didn't play a
played
ton
Oblivion.
of their other games of the same exact style until after Fallout, which is probably my guess as to why you're not against it as like I am. Because not only was the game a disappointment in the type of game it was for what it was originally, for me also it was, I've played a lot of this. Same reason why I didn't get into Skyrim. Like, it was the same game as Oblivion or Fallout New Vegas, but with a slightly different area. And like, to me, that's just not interesting. So that is why I'm kind of like, Fallout 4. So...
I thought New Vegas was just Fallout 3.
No, it was a separate
it was
game.
Fallout 3 plus all of the user-created mods into a separate game.
Yay.
Right?
Okay.
This is like
So-
thing for a while. Now.
So,
I
hold
haven't
on. So
played
let
any
me
of
go.
the Fallout
Yeah,
games.
this is what I want to get. So what disinterests you in Fallout? Like, what's your reasoning for not picking it up?
Honestly, it never made it on my radar until the games were a little bit older. And so I think Fallout 3 came out when I was playing one of the Mass Effect games and I just didn't have the time. And I just never picked it up. That's it. Like, I have nothing against the game, but I have nothing for it. Like, it's the same with Red Dead Redemption. Everyone said, oh my god, that's an amazing game. But I was playing something else at the time that I was really invested in, so I just never picked it up. And now it's just kind of old, and I don't have any real interest to go back there.
All right, fair enough. So, I guess for my little spiel on this, I would agree that I'm kind of... It's not that I dislike first-person Fallout. I enjoy first-person Fallout. I actually think they're fun games.
concept,
I don't really have any problem with the setting either. I thought it felt Fallout-y, maybe a slightly more modern take on the Fallout world, but stories must evolve, so I just wasn't against it. But what I will say is, you're far from the only person who would just like to see an old tactic turn-based Fallout game. and it just seems like it's falling on deaf ears. This is fucking this is Nintendo and Pokemon with an open world Pokemon MMO. Like you have this fan base.
Should be a fucking open world game forever ago. It's kind of like Lego, right? They decided to finally do that thing they should have did forever ago.
Yeah, and I'll give you that. You have this big audience that's there that's like, this is fine. Remember that other thing? No. We like this, but really, that other thing, whether they're pissed or whether they're like me, I just, and after the success of XCOM and all that, it proves that these games can live on, and that tactic style isn't dead at all.
Actually, speaking of XCOM, releasing in November.
We'll get into that shit in a second, I guess, but...
Yeah, continue with this. I just want to throw that out there, because speaking of...
That's right.
Wait a minute, what am I talking about?
And even XCOM, look what they did. XCOM took their turn-based...
Look at your list, you asshole.
XCOM...
Continue.
This was, they took this turn-based kind of game and turned it into a third-person shooter. I don't see why Fallout can't exist as both a first, third-person shooter, however you want to set the camera, and a tactics-based game. Like, why can't both of these things be? Sure, they didn't do it well, but I'm saying it. That's not why it failed. People weren't going like, we hate this because it's first person. It was kind of a shitty, hard game to play. Like, I tried it. I really didn't enjoy it at all, but it was because it wasn't a good game. It had nothing to do with the fact that it was first person.
Right. I mean, and
I don't see why these are
just because they changed the mechanics. It's not why I'm against Fallout 3.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, I want to make that explicitly clear.
Do you think
if I heard that was the change, I was part of me was kind of like, I don't know, and part of me was like really excited to see stuff from that perspective and the immersion value you can get from that. And I think that's part of the reason why I feel like the setting didn't hit home for me, is like because of those little things that were just felt lacking or sparse in some places, or like the things that weren't there hit me harder because I really wanted to feel like I was sitting there as this character in the world that I had been so hugely in love with since I played Fallout 2.
So, do you think... Okay, first, do you think that maybe because it's your favorite game, you have a very high bar set? Because I know that I've done this for things, and I dread it for Kingdom Hearts 3. I feel like I might hate it.
That is actually one of the biggest reasons why I don't complete... I bought Fallout 3 specifically to go against that part of me that knew it was going to be a failure compared to what I was expecting. Like, I knew it. But it's also the reason why I don't say, Fallout 3 is the worst game ever. It's just the worst in the series, in my opinion. Like, when it comes to the series, the worst game is 3, then probably New Vegas.
Also, do you think you would play it if they kept it how it is? Like, it's same writer, same team, but they just switched to the gameplay style.
You mean if they switched it over to the original style of top-down tactics style?
Yes, but they kept everything else as is. All the stuff you feel they changed, the setting, the feeling, the everything else. Would it help that much if it was just a top-down tactics game?
One question about it. When moving between locations, how is the design of the maps?
You just want that old map back.
No, I don't need to have that old top-down thing that they had before. It's just that one of the biggest reasons why I feel that Fallout 3 is sparse isn't because, like, there's not a lot of places. Sure, there's places. But from minute to minute moving and stuff, like, when you're just sort of wandering, you don't feel like a lot's going on. Like, it feels really empty until you find something. And I guess maybe they tried to do that intentionally, but I feel like that really made it to where, like, moment to moment, you feel like you're not doing a whole lot. And you're not experiencing a lot of this world, whereas in the original game, because it was a just blank map and things happen pretty quickly, like you move from point A to point B really quick, considering you had these interesting things that would pop up, like the special super encounters that you could get, like the crashed whale and that sort of stuff. It made wandering around in the waste feel like maybe something cool will happen here. But on top of that, like whenever you go into a town, it's chock fucking full of content, like huge amounts. And that was where all the content of the game really was. You know, like most of your time was... It felt like if you didn't have to take 10 to 15 minutes just to get from point A to point B in Fallout 3 in that regard. So if they took the same style of game and took out a lot of the just meandering around not seeing much, then yeah, I probably would enjoy the game. Because I feel like it would have more value per minute of gameplay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, fair enough.
In this kind of same kind of hypothetical here, or not even hypothetical, but if you take all the audience that the first-person version has brought on, do you begrudge the fact that all these people like it now because it's first-person? Because not that many people would have come on board if it was another top-down. I mean, you've had a lot of people that were there before, but there's just huge other markets.
I have thought about this one a lot, and it's one of those questions. It's just like the reason why I don't So let me answer Devin's question first, because I don't feel like I officially gave that, and I'll go to yours, because they're the big two questions that I ask myself all the time when this comes up. So the first thing is that you asked me about whether or not I feel like I would be able to enjoy the game, like, for example, maybe if it wasn't named a Fallout game, or maybe if it was in the old style, or something like that, because my expectations were high. I think that yes, but at the same time, I've spent a lot of time trying to take Fallout 3 as post-apocalyptic world game 3, as opposed to Fallout 3, and even doing that, the problem that I have with it is because it's so similar to Oblivion, I just don't have interest. That's where that issue really comes from.
Yeah.
So technically yes, but also no, because if it was my first out of the Elder Scrolls or anything Bethesda's done, then I probably would have a better like of it personally. But because I've played the game since Morrowind, basically, it didn't really hit me as anything spectacular, and therefore it was kind of a flop in my book on its own merits, not as a Fallout game, but on its own. As for your question about begrudging people who are playing the game and liking it, I love the fact that the Fallout universe has new players because of a game that has hit so many people like that. That's a great thing, because it's a fucking awesome universe. Like, there's a reason why it's my favorite game. And it's not just because, the gameplay's this. It's because everything about it feels so coherent and amazing. And they did a decent job with the 3+ games. It wasn't the best, and I really felt lacking in that regard, like I said before, but it was still there. And so to me, that's a cool thing to be able to talk to somebody with Fallouts. I just hate the fact that most of these players haven't even taken the time to say, hey, I wonder what the roots of this game are like. Like, that's what bothers me. Not the fact that they got in on this one. They just haven't checked out the roots. It's kind of like the Doctor Who, I love Matt Smith, but I haven't checked out anything else. Or, even I love the new reboot, but I haven't checked out the old stuff.
Okay, look, I'm one of those guys, mostly because the old stuff I just have no interest in.
You came on before Matt Smith. You've seen Eccles and Tenet.
No, I'm talking about the reboot.
I know. I mean, just the point is, I'm just saying, like, it's one of those things where you haven't even thought, I wonder what the roots of this thing are like, and like...
Well, like, I've gone to Wikipedia and read up on it, but I have no interest in actually watching them or listening to the radio serials. And I'll tell you personally why. I want to know the background of this character, and I want to know what everyone was so excited about, but I really had no interest in watching these old stories, just because I just... There's so much there that I feel like I would never have had enough time to catch up before I was already out of date.
This is the main reason why I haven't gone back in the Doctor Who universe as well. I've had enough interest to do so, I just haven't sat down to do it. But still, I mean, that's just my point, is like a lot of these people have been super in love with this game, just haven't taken the time to see the originals, which I feel are just a significantly better game.
So I have a similar basis of comparison. You know my love for Halo, and we always talk about it. So when they did the top-down Halo game...
I loved it. I loved it.
Spartan Assault, and there's
Halo Wars.
Halo Wars.
I loved Halo Wars.
Actually, there's 3 of them then. Halo Wars, Spartan Assault, and Spartan Offensive. And the thing is, I don't enjoy those kinds of games, but I supported them. I bought them. They were like $5 each or something, because they're basically mobile games, so you can get them on the PC now. And so I was really happy that I had all these other people that like these top-down games playing it and more. I don't feel like it really took away from my Halo game, though. That's why I was really curious. Like, is it the people that you're...
Well, the interesting thing, Eddie, is if you'd asked me that same question the day after Fallout 3 came out, I would have answered very differently. And part of it's because, like, that game released when I was still in that sort of, like, hot-headed, stupid kid mode sort of brain set in a lot of these things, because games are my passion. Like, let's just get honest here. They're obviously my passion.
How honest are we getting? Boxers or briefs?
Honest, baby. Boxers.
All right.
But the point is that, if you asked me back then, not like obviously first day, but a little bit afterwards, I would have had a lot different of an answer, because at that point I was like, this game is just such a disappointment. But now that I've had a lot of time to reflect on it, I actually kind of like the fact that this universe has more people invested in it. So,
is it a bad game for someone who hasn't played it? Is it a bad game?
Have you played any of the other Elder Scrolls games?
I played Skyrim. And
did you play a lot of it, or did you play just a little bit of it?
I played it to shit. Yeah, I got a bunch of the mods.
You might find this a little tedious.
If you sat down and played another entire game that was like Skyrim, could you enjoy that? Or do you feel burnt out about that gameplay?
So because I played Skyrim a couple years ago, or at least 2 years ago, probably not. Because
then you could enjoy the game then, because honestly, that was the biggest problem I had with it. I
have it. You can borrow it.
I couldn't get into the minute to minute gameplay because I I had literally just gotten off of playing through Oblivion with like a huge number of mods and just a huge like it was like 3 hours of installing mods and getting them to work together because they all were kind of like conflicting because we had this really cool pack and this like thing. It was great. I played a lot of this Oblivion setup, and then Fallout 3. Actually, no, that was at New Vegas time. It was basically the same thing. It was Skyrim, and basically anytime that I wanted to play one of these games, I played a bunch of one of the other games in the series, and I've just been like, I don't want this. So if you can come back to a game like that and enjoy it, I think you can enjoy the game, like without a question. Like it stands okay on its own. It's just for me not impressive.
Okay, so I understand we're not excited about 4, but it isn't one of those things where, oh god, it's a pile of crap. And
right, I'm not saying the game's going to be awful. I'm just saying I don't care.
All right, so one thing I wanted to talk about really quick.
Okay. Yeah, we should move on. We talk a lot about Fallout now.
Did you guys hear that E3 is quasi-opening to the public?
Yeah.
Okay, did you hear the parameters for this?
Not entirely.
Okay,
yeah.
So, the cost. So actually, there's parameters for this. They're giving away 4,000 to 5,000 passes, but they're only giving them away to exhibitors to give to people they call their prosumers.
Okay.
They're top consumers.
I mean, yes. I get that.
So, and basically the number of passes they're going to give out, per exhibitor depends on how much the exhibitor has spent at E3. Right? And this is the ESA, which I had to look into today because I had no idea who the fuck they were. And apparently E3 makes about half of their yearly budget. So, is this really opening it up to the public, or is this just pandering to your contributors? It's like a politician giving defense contracts, to people that contributed,
Simple
right?
Answer? No, it's not no, it's not doing that. Second part of that answer is I don't care, because E3 has never been about the public. It's never been. E3 is an internal industry based convention expo. Like, it's not meant to be a public thing. That's why I don't care. Like, this is just like, you want to see E3, okay? Go be a press person. Like, that's the whole... It's a press conference and an internal, it's not about the public, and it never has been, and that's why this doesn't matter to me. And, like, okay, some people are going to get in now.
Okay, but I just feel like...
Do I want it to be public as well? Not really, I don't care.
Why open it to the public at all if all you're going to do is just kind of do the pandering?
I would rather they didn't, to be very honest. I think that E3 is a fantastic industry thing that should stay that way. There's nothing wrong with there being an industry conference like that. There's a couple of them that exist already that are really good. Some for developers, some for technology-based stuff like E3. Yeah. I mean, these things exist. It doesn't need to be open to public. I don't need that. Like, no, I can get
I'm okay with that. I think the part that bothers me is like, why fucking open it at all if you're...
Probably probably because there's been a lot of people saying, oh, I'd love to go to an E3 for so long that they said, well, maybe we could check that out. And they're like, well, how can we set this up with making our clientele happier? Oh, well, let's try this maybe. So maybe, to me, this sounds like an internal like PR thing for the other companies. Whatever.
I'm definitely not a fan.
I will flat out say, if you want something like an E3 experience, but on the consumer side, PAX will be like that. That's kind of what it is.
I will be able to confirm or deny this year.
Well, you guys go to San Diego Comic-Con. It's the same kind of thing. That's a consumer.
No. But that's not.
But they expo
Electronic Arts focused, right?
Well, right. That's a much broader thing nowadays than it was before. But the way I understand from what I've seen of Comic-Con and like the pictures and stuff, it's a very expo-like thing, but driven for the populace or for the public. And that's the thing that you're going to see at something like PAX. You're going to see these big, extravagant, fucking displays and all that sort of thing. Whereas at E3, you probably won't see that many things like that.
Yeah.
It's like the basics. That's because it's not meant to draw people in. It's meant to just be a thing where we all talk to each other and, yeah. The elaborate stuff is all the press stuff that comes out of it, and that's where you get your keynote speeches and all these other things. And that's what E3's always been. So, I don't know.
It's Dreamforce, man. You know this. It's Dreamforce.
Yeah, but anybody can go to Dreamforce.
Is that really open to the public?
Yes.
Why?
Just like any of the other ones that we've been to, they're open to the public.
Why?
Because anybody that's interested is given a chance to check it out.
Why?
Because that's what happens.
That
Well,
seems insane and
nonetheless-
ridiculous.
All right, so going on the E3 thing, so there's a couple of pre-announcements that I'm personally
The fuck's a pre-announcement?
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
basically they're saying that we're gonna showcase this at E3.
That's an announcement!
Yeah.
Well, no, they're saying so for like Fallout 4, they did a premiere announcement. Like, hey, we're gonna actually announce Fallout 4, do a premiere, show you everything, get your hands on it. Same with Rock Band, they're doing a hands-on preview there.
But the minute you said Rock Band 4 will be a thing in existence during this thing that we're going to show off, that's an announcement.
Pre-E3 announcement is what I said. So they're announcing the shit they're going to announce in E3.
But they've already announced it!
Just telling you what I read, man.
This isn't how words work! You can't make...
Hey, man, irregardless of what you're saying...
Nice. Nice.
Sorry, I had to do that.
I don't care.
Because it's the same thing. That's literally the same thing.
Uh,
I don't know what you want from me.
moving on.
Anyways, so who's announcing what? Just tell us.
All right, it's just 3 quick ones. It's
Yeah.
like I said, Fallout 4. They're gonna do a hands-on.
Oh good, I can't wait to
Go
find out the
premiere.
Fallout 4 is coming out.
No, not just that. You actually get to get your hands on what it's gonna be like. You know, get to play it a little bit. Rock Band 4, same deal. And there's a rumor that Dark Souls 3 is gonna be revealed. But it's just a rumor. We don't know.
Just to another game with Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Hey.
Different company, though.
Maybe they're gonna start doing the fucking. Oh, we're gonna release something every year and have shitty games after a while.
That's fun.
Yay!
And it's
I
all
really
gonna be
hope they do
stupid
that.
hard anyways, and everyone's gonna hate you. I'm sorry, what?
They're great. Anyways.
Eh, I'm sorry, I'm not a glutton for punishment. I like to enjoy my video games, not want to bash them in the head.
Yeah.
See, I enjoy something that requires me to get good at it.
Yeah, that's called life.
Debate for another day, gentlemen.
Yeah, but also, I mean, in life, I enjoy things that I get good at too. Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, so we already talked about
XCOM 2, dude. XCOM 2.
XCOM 2.
released in November.
It'll be happening in November. Did they say that was the full release or like an early access thing or something?
Nope, full release in November.
Sweet.
Can't wait.
Also, another
Bet
thing.
your asses there'll be some streams of that.
Hell
shit.
yes.
You mean of me yelling at why won't you move? God damn it!
Oh, I
Or
love
me
those
shooting
games.
a rocket at something at point blank and having it fire that way, and me going, "Why, RNGesus, why?"
So I do have to report something sad about gaming. Don't get serious on me. There was a rumor that Microsoft was gonna buy and release it as an exclusive.
Yeah, I saw that.
Sadly, it is just a rumor. Completely
Sadly.
untrue.
That sounds great.
Whatever.
What are you talking about? Silent Hill was that big like demo that they did that everybody was super
Yeah.
excited about.
It's great, but, you know, fuck them.
Great, helpful. All right.
What other shit you got on your palette?
Monster Hunter
things?
X announced.
Cool. Is it going to be on anything but the
Nope.
Japanese versions?
3DS,
3DS.
and Japanese version launches this winter. No details about anything else.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm looking forward to Nintendo getting rid of those goddamn region locks.
Right?
Right. The only thing that kind of bums me out about that is it's basically the same engine, just a different graphics kind of thing.
Considering that I played all whopping 0 minutes of the game, I would still love to play it.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Actually, I have it. I have it right here. I was playing right before the stream. Fuck you guys.
See my bird? See my bird?
Hey,
It's
you
the
guys can
Fig
buy
Bird.
it too. I don't know what you want from me. I
Actually,
don't have
I
a
can't
region
3DS.
unlocked game.
I do not have a 3DS. I can't buy that.
I forgot to mention XCOM 2 is going to come with modding support.
Yes! Oh, that's the best part about it. I almost forgot about that.
Ooh, I
Holy
didn't know
shit.
that.
Yeah, modding support. Yes! Because what that means is that, like, just the things that we want to see, that other people are like, I want to see this, someone's going to make those things.
That'll be
And
great.
we're gonna get to have those.
Oh, that's
Fucking
exciting.
internet high five.
Wow!
Yeah.
Real quick, there's 2 new PlayStation versions coming out. The only thing I really care about is one of them is going to have a 1 terabyte hard drive.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yay.
So that I'm actually excited. I was thinking of buying a PlayStation recently, and I'm like, oh, I'll wait. And
My
I'm
desire
glad,
to play a
I'm glad I
PlayStation
waited.
or to buy a PlayStation has gone from 0.1 to 0.1.
Yeah, but you're the whole like PC master race. I don't want to talk.
That's not even PC Master Race. It's just, what the fuck do I have to buy a PS4 for? What does it do for me?
I have one reason to buy a PS4.
Yeah, but you're gonna get it, so I can just go over there if I really want to play it.
That's also
I
true.
call bullshit, honestly, because
I'm not going to really want to play it, but if I really want to play it, I
far
can do
away. It's not like you could just,
No,
oh,
dude, I'm just gonna watch Devin
blocks.
play it on the stream. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's gonna happen as well.
See? I'm
Alright.
okay with that.
Dr. Mario is coming through the 3DS.
Yeah, so the
Here's the cool part. Allows two players
That is
to play
actually
with one copy.
yeah.
So it's a
Like
digital
with the
only
buttons and
release.
the tappy.
No, it's like the Tetris, but with
Oh, you mean
Mario.
the way that they had the wireless play that didn't require you to actually have a copy of it, but if you both had DSs, you could play the
Yes.
game? Okay. That's such a cool feature. Like, have they stopped doing that on most of their games?
Yeah.
Not all of their games do it, but this
But
one
a
will
lot.
have that.
That's so dumb because that was the coolest feature. The first time I heard about that, I was like,
And the only thing memorable, or not memorable, notable, is they've added special items. So, they went a little bit of the Candy Crush way. Hey.
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Dr. Mario can use a little bit of a polish from more modern stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
for
called,
example, the original Sin wouldn't be the game it is if it didn't polish up the original idea.
Right.
So,
It's called Dr. Mario Miracle Cure, coming out June 11th. And
Wow.
now this is what I really wanted to talk about. All right. There was an article where a gamer got invited to a tournament for Hearthstone tournament, right?
Okay.
And it was a $25,000 pool and everything.
do you
and
know what his handle was?
I'm not gonna release that.
Oh,
Just kidding. No, I don't know what his handle is. But so the point is that the dude's in college, his parents pay his bills and all that, and he was like, "I'm gonna go to this tournament," and they went, "No, you can't." And he was very adamant. They're like, "Well, if you go, we're gonna cut you off. We're not gonna pay for your college anymore. We're not gonna pay for your clothes or anything." And basically, just kind of like, yeah, you can't go play outside kind of deal. And it wasn't like he said, "Oh, I'm gonna abandon my studies and go on a tournament circuit." It was just the one tournament. I wanted to get your guys' take on that.
this is happening all the time in Korea, and it's not a big deal. Like, these people then become successful and make money. Congratulations. Like, why would you stop your son or daughter, I suppose technically could be that too, from doing this? Like, why?
Like, do you feel it was a little bit extreme there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course I do.
And this goes to show you what I was bringing up when you were
So
talking
the
about.
most important question, though, is did he go to the tournament?
He did not. He did
Oh,
not.
that's sad, dude.
He was on his last year of college, and he was like, "Look, I just have 1 year left. I'm gonna finish this, and then I'm gonna go and be a professional gamer afterwards."
Well, good for him
So-
at least having a plan like that.
Yeah, he definitely has a plan, but it's what we talked about when you were bringing up the esports and how mainstream it's getting. There's still a huge stigma from fucking everybody.
I know.
Like,
It's
this
a
isn't a
kick in the ass.
stranger, right? This is their own kid that they were like, "If you play video games, get the fuck out."
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, and that sucks.
It's
Because he could have made that money and then paid them back for the college.
Right.
Like, to think about it that way. Like, that's a the $25,000 cash pool. If he wins, that's going to be probably around $12,000 or something like that.
yeah.
Fucking good deal.
It's a nice chunk of change.
It is.
good.
That's like a semester or two, right?
I thought it was super ridiculous, and I was hoping that I wasn't the only one, because I'm like, that seems really stupid. Like, he's just going to one little tournament. I mean,
What's
how
the big
long?
deal?
They
How
should
long
have
can a tournament
really
be,
encouraged
really?
him to do it, if you ask me.
So how long is a Hearthstone tournament? Like, a
Depends
weekend?
on how it is, but yeah, generally it's just like a weekend.
So I
Unless it's
imagine
a full league, in which case it would be like, months and months and months, but most of those things are replayed online anyway, so you're not going to lose anything at that point. Hearthstone tournament, like if it's an actual LAN event, it's going to be about a weekend.
it was very definitely a LAN event.
Right.
But yeah, so I wanted to bring that up. I thought that was super ridiculous, and that is the last thing I have today.
Yeah, so Cameron just in our chat says 3 to 4 hours a day, 2 to 3 days. Yeah, I mean, then it's actually even less than that, depending on if you win or lose. Because if you're that's if you're winning the whole time.
Well, obviously, if you lose, you're out.
Well,
if you
I mean,
lose, go home.
sometimes they'll have a double elimination. It depends on the stack of the tournament, but a single match is going to be usually 5 games. Probably take you about an hour and a half.
Oh, homie,
Probably have 2 of those.
game is stacked.
Right. It's just, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not a lot of time. Like, you can do that and still be a successful studying person. The only downside is the time you have to invest into, like, getting good with your decks. But, like, that's really, you can do that. Not hard.
All right.
Anyways,
well, with that, I think that's looking like that's right about our hour, kids.
Yeah. I mean, I know you had a couple of things you wanted to throw out. Are those things you want to talk about this week, or you want to push them off?
Suppose we can talk about Mad Max, because that probably won't be as relevant next week, but either one we can wait till next week.
Okay, throw that out there then.
All right, well, and actually it's not bad talking about with Fallout, because...
That's what I was thinking. That's why I was like...
There is actually... The opening scene to that movie is him standing over the wasteland next to a beaten-down car, looking out over a hilltop taking a piss.
Well,
and
again,
I looked over...
the original Wasteland, which was the original game that Fallout came out of, was basically a, hey, post-apocalyptic Mad Max, mash 'em up sort of game. So I'm not surprised at all.
But I looked over at my girlfriend and I said, this could be a Fallout movie. Mm-hmm. And actually, after watching more of it, I also thought to myself, this could be a Borderlands movie. Like, it lived up to both of those so well. And this is one of those rare times where there were a lot of things I didn't like about this movie. But yeah, I still liked the movie.
Which is rare, because usually they're like, blah.
Yeah, no, it was very mumbly. That was probably my biggest complaint. I didn't understand half of what they said in that fucking movie.
They got Harrison Ford?
No, they didn't even need him. There's literally a point in the movie, like, it's this big epic moment, like, mini spoiler. Half raise my hand.
Half spoiler hand?
Half spoiler hand?
Half spoiler hand.
So, there's this part where it's like this big epic reveal, because he hasn't told anybody his name the whole time, and he's finally telling them his name, and he looks over at them and he goes, Max! My name's Max. But he actually goes, after saying his name for like he's not being crushed to death. They're safe for this time being.
Right.
I don't know why there was more grunting in there. There was a lot of this like kind of stuff happening. Everybody was grumbly but other than that, it kept up a good sense of tension. It's apparently this new style thing that a couple movies have done. Yeah, you can. Yeah. Well done. It's this new kind of thing where like the whole movie's kind of one long action scene. There's just always kind of some stuff happening with only there's probably like
camera.
There's probably like 20 to 30 minutes of dialogue in the whole thing, and it's closer to 3 hours.
All right, so for those of us who haven't seen Mad Max in a couple of years, or apparently saw,
you don't need to at all.
Different movie.
Here's what you need to understand.
What is this movie about?
Australia falls to shit. Personally, this is never said in any of the movies, but personally, I like to believe that the rest of the world is fine. Only Australia is a nightmare horror land.
Okay.
But basically, yeah, society collapses. Water is scarce. And they're in a big fuck-off desert.
Okay.
That's sort of the plot to Mad Max. The world ends, and this dude is adventuring through the wastelands.
Like, legitimately, if you've got any inkling of what the Fallout like style narrative is, you pretty much have the Mad Max narrative.
Just strip out anything sci-fi. Yeah, but it's kind of irrelevant.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't matter. He doesn't hold any sort of authority, and with the stuff he's doing, it's not like stuff a cop would do.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, Waterworld with the desert. That's what somebody in the chat is saying. But no, literally, like, there's nothing mystic, there's nothing magic. I don't even think there were nukes. Like, the world just kind of fell to shit. There might have been nukes. I haven't seen the originals in years, but it doesn't matter.
What is your official review of...
Oh, no, there probably were nukes. I think there were nukes.
What's your official score for this game?
Movie?
I said it.
I'll give it 4 out of 5 grumbles.
4 out of 5 grumbles?
Yeah.
Maps.
But yeah, no, it's fun. It's fun. It's fun. A bunch of it doesn't make any fucking sense, but it's fun.
Alright, so wait, in the first one, let me go back. In the first one, he was a cop, yes? Like, not the first one, the original, he was a cop, yes?
Sure.
Okay. His background is, yes, he was a cop.
In the original, yes? So
the original, like, the world is already ending, so he's already not a cop.
Okay, right. There we go. That's where I was confused. I always thought he was a cop the whole time, and bad shit just started happening to him.
I don't believe so. Like it's been years, but as far as I remember, the first one is like the world is falling apart, and then it's after that.
Okay, so there's Mad Max. Which one? So now I'm all
Mad Max the Road Warrior, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, and now Mad Max Fury Road and the planned sequel to that.
Because it's Hollywood, we can't have one.
Yeah, no. It did well. But I'll fucking watch another one. What I like is, and like, with the way they ended it, it's gonna be a sequel to Fury Road, like Road Warrior was a sequel to Mad Max, and Thunderdome was a sequel to that. They're about the same guy. It's like an Indiana Jones sequel. It's just another adventure of the same guy.
In the first one, he was very definitely a cop of a certain police force that was still around at the time.
Again, it's been years, but it doesn't matter.
I think the thing
it
you're
doesn't matter.
Not getting here, Eddie, is it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it bears no relevance.
I was just trying to get it straight, god damn it. I haven't seen it in years, and I'm pretty sure I saw it in Espanol when I did.
Okay, Senor Crazy Max. Senor Loco Max, that's what it is.
Oh. So, with 4 out of 5 grumbles, maybe I'll check it out when it comes to Netflix or something. Around the corner.
Alright, Monkey Boy, dance.
Alright, man, we got this. So, if you guys want to check us out,
Hoedown
any
style.
other way than the fact that you already are, which could be any one of these ways, but you can switch to other ways, you can check out us on our websites, 5dpodcast.com. We've got an email, which is 5d at 5dpodcast.com.
Double woo!
We're also on Facebook in 5D Podcast.
So much
We're also
woo.
on YouTube as 5D Podcast. We are also on Twitch as 5D Podcast, right? And these are all with a number 5, not the word. We also have a Twitter. It's 5D_podcast. I'm Figbird4885. And, Tyler's still not here, but Cosplay Fiend. On top of that, we're on iTunes. Just rate us and tell us how awful we are, even if you give us a 0-star.
We'd like to know about it.
We would like to know about it. Also, of course, you want to check us out on the Twitch on Wednesdays from 7 to 9 on the Twitch, yes. From 7 to 9 because it's when we do the live recording. But if you're listening to it via the RSS feed, that is also fine, I suppose. But you can be interactive if you come online and watch us live.
I don't want to be an Iraq.
All right.
You guys have closing thoughts?
I don't want to be an Iraq.
Fireman! Max Crazy! Senior Loco Max!